From the Ear to There Travel Studio, this is the Ear to There Disney Podcast.
The Ear to There Podcast, it's time to start the show. Be sure to hold on tight, here we go. Exploring all the different Disney destinations. Ear to There, it's time to start the fun.
Hello everybody and welcome to the Ear to There Disney Podcast. I am your host, Phil Gramlich. I am also the owner and the founder of Ear to There Travel, which is a Disney-specialized travel agency. It is my job to take away all that stress, all that anxiety, and all that time that it takes to plan a Disney trip so you can focus on the really fun things like having a great time with your family and friends and enjoying the magic. And like I say, each and every week, I do all of that for free. So from getting you the best possible deal on your hotel reservation or your package, to checking for deals even after your package is booked to try to save you some more money, to booking your dining reservations, your fast passes, special event tickets like Mickey's Very Merry Christmas Party and Mickey's Not So Scary Halloween Party, golf tee times, transportation, flights, you name it. I take care of it, and I never, ever, ever charge a fee. So the price that you would pay if you booked through Disney itself is the same price that you pay when you book through me here at Ear to There Travel. So let me be your guide. Let me be the Hector, or Hector as they say it in the movie. Yes, that's my Mexican accent. I apologize just wholeheartedly to anyone who has an actual accent or is from Mexico. But let me be the Hector to your Miguel. I'll help you out. I'll show you the ropes. I'll make sure you're totally taken care of, and neither of us will have to die to get that done. You can find this podcast, my blog, my videos, or request a free, yes, free, no obligation quote over at ear2theretravel.com. Oh, and I want to hear from you about what you think about this week's episode. Please head over to ear2theretravel.com/message and send me a message there and let me know, of course, what you think about the show, what you like, what you don't like, guests that you might want to hear on the show, your favorite co-hosts like Amy, like Johnny Shortsleeve, like Chuck. Leave me a message. Let me know what you think about the show. Every person that leaves me one message in June, and this is June of 2018, will be entered into a drawing. I have a hard time saying that word, drawing. Remember that Saturday Night Live skit? Hello, my name is Simon, and I like to do drawings. It was Mike Myers as a kid named Simon from England. Anyway, everyone who sends me a message this June will be entered in a contest to win a candle from the Magic Candle Company. So yeah, all you have to do is send me a message over at ear2theretravel.com/message to be entered into the contest. All right, this is episode number 127 for the week of June 11th, 2018. So grab a drink, grab a snack, and as a famous mouse once said, on with the show. And we'll start off this week's show just like I start off every numbered episode of the show. And of course, that is with the What About Bob segment. This is where Disney legend and retired Imagineer Bob Gurr joins me on the show to answer your questions and mine. Now, if you don't know who Bob is, Bob created and built things like the Matterhorn, the monorails, the Main Street vehicles, the Omnimover system, including the Doom Buggies and the People Mover, the Autopia. The list goes on and on and on. So if you have a question for Bob, please call the voice line. The phone number is 267-551-1971. You could also email me that question over to phil@ear2theretravel.com. As always, the What About Bob segment is brought to you by the Waltland Bus Tour. So each and every month, Bob Gurr takes a busload actually, of people all around Southern California with stops in Los Angeles, in Burbank, and in Glendale, where you will visit important stops along the history of the Walt Disney Company, but more importantly, in the history of its founder, Walt Disney. To get tickets for the Waltland Bus Tour, just head over to www.waltland.com. All right, without further ado, here he is, Mr. Bob Gurr.
It's What About Bob? Bob Gurr, the legend, creator of the Matterhorn, the monorails and the Haunted Mansion. What about Bob, the Disney legend?
All right, Bob, this is another one from me. Was there a collaborator or another Imagineer over the years that you really enjoyed working with or collaborating with? I mean, one that you enjoyed working with over everyone else?
Not really. Everybody was so good. Everybody was so fascinating. Starting when you go to the studio in 1954 and you gradually learn, who's there and what their background, what they do, and how it all works together. I was just fascinated by everybody. There were such an interesting group of people. A lot of them were self-taught. There were very individual personalities, and of course, focusing more on the Disney machine shop. There were a lot of guys in the shop that were, they're machinists or managers. They were all fun guys because basically I was the youngest one of the bunch. And so that meant every one of those other fellas were all sort of mentors to me. And sometimes that cut both ways. Sometimes I'd do stuff that was kind of dumb or because I didn't know about certain production techniques. And they'd misinform me or tease me about the fact how little I actually knew about machining, which meant I had to really learn every day and then learn every day from everybody. And there was probably one standout. We had the welding shop outside, and there was a guy by the name of Fred Hilst. And he was a guy probably in his late 50s, and he was always very good about showing me better ways to weld something together. And it turned out steel weldments was the thing I spent the most time on. I just love designing anything that's going to be a steel weldment. And this guy, Fred Hilst, was every couple of days, he'd have me out there in the shop and show me something. And that allowed me to develop design techniques that were so simple from the standpoint that I wouldn't design it like an engineer would. I would design it as if I was a welder, and I wanted to make that weld as easy as possible with the least amount of work. And it was all because of Fred Hilst. He was from Oklahoma. He was a sort of a self-taught minister. So he was, quite an interesting Christian character. But he really, really helped me. I think he really loved being a mentor. So I would say in a span of a couple of years, boy, he was my super mentor.
Thank you once again to Bob for coming back on and answering another question on the show. It's always just a look into the history of the Disney Company. I love having him on. And what's really fun about Bob is you never know what he's going to say. Sometimes it's a straightforward answer. Sometimes it's a kind of a shocking answer. Sometimes it's very inspirational. Sometimes it's helpful. Sometimes it's entertaining. Well, it's always entertaining, to be honest. But thank you again to Bob. And now it's time to move on to episode number 127. That's all about our favorite Walt Disney World attraction scenes. Talk all about our favorite Walt Disney World attraction scenes. Right? That's what we said?
That's what we said.
Scenes is the Black Widow to my Hawkeye, the Pepper Potts to my Iron Man.
That's true.
I can't think of another one.
You can tell how prepared he
Ariel,
is today.
the Ariel to my Prince Eric, the Belle to my Beast is probably most appropriate.
Thanks.
Welcome back, Ames. My wife, Amy Liz, thank you for coming back on the show.
No, thank you so much for having me. I'm so excited.
So
This is a good one.
this is a fun idea. I think we came up with it last week, and we meant to do it last week, and then we kind of kicked it around a little bit.
Life happens.
Yeah, so-
It comes in the way.
So, yeah, I got to stop with the ums. Already, I said an
I did not. Just so you know.
Well, you're a pro. So, what inspired this one was I was thinking about like the big, like how much production goes into it, every Disney attraction, and we did an episode a while back that was the Disney areas that put you right in the middle of a Disney movie, right? Remember
Yes.
that one?
Oh, yeah, that was a fun one, too.
So, like, I always it's a weird one to think about, but I always think of the bathrooms in Magic Kingdom for the Rapunzel themed bathrooms.
No, it is. It's a perfect example, though.
Because
Look how nice I'm being to you today, by the way.
it's
I'm in a really good mood.
I wish life would imitate art. So the Rapunzel bathroom. So you walk over there, you have the music playing, you see her tower off in the background. You're in the middle of that kingdom. It just puts you there.
You're so right.
Like it's so weird. Every time I'm in that area, I wander through my camera, or even if I don't have to use the facilities,
This is going to get weird, guys.
I like walking through. And then when like you do stroller parking over by It's a Small World, like right there, where the old Skyway Tower used to be,
Right.
and then you walk over to your left, like I'm drawn to that area. So that's kind of what inspired this, which is weird. This episode is inspired
A bathroom
by
inspired this episode.
But we should do. I think we mentioned it before. Top bathrooms in Walt Disney World.
Yeah, well, definitely not today.
No,
I'm unprepared.
This is a completely different topic. But so we're doing. This is the top show scenes, and there's just so many scenes on the attractions where Imagineers put you in this moment, and you completely I totally forget I'm on an attraction. Totally forget I'm in a theme park. You're in that movie, or you're in that moment that in that time and space that the Imagineers created.
That is not how I interpreted it at all. No, I'm just kidding. That's exactly how I interpreted it.
Sometimes I've done shows with, I don't know if really with you, but I've done some with other people.
Chuck.
Johnny Shortsleeve actually comes to mind. Chuck sometimes just doesn't even prepare.
Shout out to Chuck.
Chuck just shows up and he's like, all right, whatever you got. So
He always does great.
Yeah, but I've done shows with other guests who we've had very differing like thought processes going in, and it always ends up being interesting. So hopefully this one, since we both have the same thought process.
Hopefully we'll pull it off.
All right, so top attraction scenes, favorite attraction scenes, however you want to say it. Why don't you, since you're the guest in our own home, but in my studio.
That's true.
And again, using the Ham and Cheese Ear to There Travel podcast studio. By the way, another 2-mic recording, and I've listened back to them a bunch of times, and they sound so good. It's such a cool thing to have the 2 mics.
It's really fun to have it. It's much easier.
And it sounds like a studio. It sounds like it actually sounds a little bit like a radio show. It's cool. All right, so your first one.
It's amazing.
It is amazing. Let's get started, Ames. You start us off.
So I actually, really, now that I'm thinking about it, I probably did have a bit of a different take, because what you did say to me was favorite attraction scenes.
Yeah, that's the same thing.
So it's a little more personal, where it's not necessarily, oh my goodness, I think this is the best attraction scene ever. For me, it's one of my favorites. So this is my top one. I don't want you to take it from me.
You're going with your best one right off the bat.
I'm going with my best one because I'm nervous that you have this. And I
take things on purpose to make you feel bad about yourself.
Well, I don't care if you take the other ones.
Okay.
But don't take this away from me. So this is...
What's that from?
Guys, I'm not even going to tell them. So Carousel of Progress.
Right, I guess I'm going to have to think about that all day by myself. Okay.
So Carousel of Progress, I'm going with. And so, of course, obviously, I'm going with the last scene in Carousel of Progress. First of all, you guys, every moment on that is awesome. Every scene is great because each scene is so different and it encapsulates a very specific time period.
I'm actually thinking back why I didn't pick Carousel of Progress for my list, because I love every one of those
Well,
scenes.
I really thought you were going to.
I did not.
As soon as you
What's
said
funny is
scene,
that
that's
I
what
was
popped
going
into
through.
my head.
You see, we have the maps like in our. I know the listener cannot see this, so I apologize.
He's pointing.
But we have maps up in my studio, and one of them is Magic Kingdom. And a lot of times when I'm trying to figure out what to do, I'll go through my map, my older map, because it has a lot of. This is from the 70s, and I pick out attractions that you know what I mean?
Yes.
But I didn't do that this time. I didn't even go around the map. So that's a really good pick. Anyway, go ahead.
No, it's fine. It's just funny because as soon as we thought of this topic, that's the scene that popped into my head. So, of course, I'm referring to the very last scene. So it's supposed to be in the future, but it's actually now, right?
Like in the past / present?
Yes.
It's weird.
But so everyone has like their fancy gadgets and all. And so the son and the grandma are playing the virtual reality game.
Yep.
And they keep saying their score. But of course, the main guy, every time he announces the score, the oven gets turned up because it's a voice activated oven. And it ends up burning the turkey for Christmas.
Yeah, it's Christmas.
Yeah, it burns the Christmas turkey.
Remember when because they're
But
like,
he had burned it
computer,
last, hadn't he?
turn up the tree lights 30%. It's like, ooh, and the tree gets brighter.
Yes.
That's like our house now.
But
with
then
the
he was
Alexa,
like,
Amazon.
900? Like,
Yeah.
your score is 900, and then the oven is like, turning oven to 900. And then, of course, the turkey gets burned. And first of all, I remember that so clearly from my childhood. Like, I do love that they haven't changed that because I do have such a strong memory of it. But it was just, it's hilarious. It's fun. It honestly really does feel like Christmas at that time. It takes you right to your own holidays and memories and new ones that you're going to make. And of course, if you're with your kids, you're thinking about creating memories with them. And I just think it's a great scene, and I love that they never changed it.
I agree. I love that scene. There is something about it that's really, really kind of, it takes me back to my first time ever on that attraction, which was, I don't know, maybe 1992, probably, I guess.
Yeah, that's probably right.
Was the first time I ever had a chance to do it. Was it there? I think, was it already It's a Great Big Beautiful Tomorrow? I think it was, because I don't remember Now Is the Time.
Oh, you don't?
No.
Oh, then maybe.
But maybe on my first trip it was Now Is the Time, and I just kind of don't remember. But I'll have to double check on what year that was.
Goodness, I can't remember. I remember Now Is the Time so clearly from my childhood that I don't remember when it switched over.
Yeah, so, but I think of, I have so many lines from there, the grandma, when she's like, I'm the resident flying ace now. And
yeah, the grandma's the best part, isn't she?
Yeah, she's like the best part. Like, there's a couple little parts with her when she's in the, I forget what scene it is, like the 20s or, no, it wouldn't be the 20s, it would be like the 40s, when they're watching TV and she's watching boxing, and she's all into the
she's
fight.
The best.
Did you know the grandma in the rocking chair in that scene is the same audio animatronic that they use for Haunted Mansion?
Really? I didn't know
in the
that.
rocking chair. Yeah, so you learn something new all the time on the podcast. How about
especially in the ham and cheese studio.
that? You're still pushing for ham and cheese.
I really like it. I think it was my idea.
I do love that. I love that scene. It's a great first pick.
Thank you.
And I love that it reminds us that there is a great, big, beautiful.
Oh, no. Shining at the end of every day.
I do it because I know it's not your favorite, but I love that song. So, and it was Walt Disney's favorite song, really. So you can't.
It really doesn't matter to me.
That's not very nice.
I'm just kidding. Just kidding,
Rest
Walt
in
Disney.
peace.
Sorry.
Rest in peace, poor Walt.
Sorry, Walt.
All right, so that's a great first pick. I want to go
you.
to. I don't. Mine aren't in any order, but I'm looking at my list here, and I want to.
You don't want me to steal
started it
yours?
off with such a bang. Now I want to start it off with a
Yeah,
bang.
that was my best one. Sorry, guys. It all goes downhill from here.
All right. Well, that's just like our marriage.
Gosh. That was a really low blow.
So, okay. My first one I'm going to pick is, it's not my top one, but you haven't done it, so I know it's not on your list.
Okay.
And it's tough because I wanted to pick Avatar Flight of Passage,
I figured.
but I can't because I feel like the entire attraction is one big scene.
Okay.
Because it's a
I know you're-
simulator, because you move, but you're not in different rooms. There's no different
It doesn't
scenes.
change, right?
It's a screen, right? So it's
Right.
a simulator. Again, I will argue with anyone who thinks this isn't the most unbelievable attraction Disney's built in decades. It's an amazing attraction. I can't wait for you to ride it next month. But here's the one I'm going with. It's Navi River Journey.
I figured.
Okay? So that entire attraction is amazing.
I can't wait. I
Because-
haven't done that either. I can't wait.
Right. But what they do is, it's Pirates of the Caribbean on an alien planet. Is the way I like to describe it.
Oh, I like that description.
But-
That's cool.
So, I've said this before in the podcast, and I apologize to all the listeners who have heard this, but when you're riding on Pirates or on Under the Sea Voyage of Little Mermaid or something like that, and you look to your left, to your right, below, like, and it is, you know, you see the show scenes, but you look over your head, you look up in the ceiling, and you see the ceiling, right? Like you see, you know, pipes and speakers, and it's very much a great attraction if you're looking at where the Imagineers want you to look. But if you look where they don't want you to look, you see equipment. This attraction is completely different. Like if you look above your head, you see aliens. You see bugs crawling on branches, and you see things moving, and what do they call the light? The neonish. What do you call it? Light? I don't know.
Are you talking about
bioluminescence? The bioluminescence.
Oh yeah, the bioluminescence.
It's all around you, right?
I've seen that in commercials.
So the scene, so it's amazing. You're completely 360 degrees covered in theming. It's an amazing attraction.
I'm so excited,
and I think it really gets the short end of the stick as far as Pandora goes, because
it definitely does. Yes,
Passage is such just this amazing experience.
Yeah, you're right. You never hear people talk about Navi River.
You don't, and I recommend people, you know, especially when I talk to clients, I say, do Navi River Journey first,
right?
Because you'll think it's amazing, and then when you do Flight of Passage, you'll be blown away, as opposed to doing Flight of Passage first, which I did, and then rode Navi River Journey, and I was like, that's all right. But then when I re-rode and I looked around, I was like, wow, this is amazing. Anyway, the scene I'm talking about is one of the final scenes when you see the enormous blue Navi shaman singing. And it's that amazing audio animatronic that Disney Imagineers built.
I know, I've seen videos of this, and I feel like it doesn't do it justice.
It doesn't. Until you see it in person and see the fluidity of the movement and the mouth and the eyes and everything moving at the same time, and the song that, you know, it's not a real language, but it's a people speak it like they.
Is it a haunting melody?
It's because of this. Okay, you ready?
Oh no!
Ready to sing it? I want to sing
ready.
it. She's like, Hanewa, Hanewa, Hanewa. Like that.
I feel like that's exactly what she said.
That's what it sounds like. I'm telling you. Listen, any listener out there, let me know this week if I sounded like her. She's like, Hanewa.
You need to do it twice.
Hanewa. I don't know if it's Hanewa, but that's what it sounds like.
Okay.
But and then not to be offensive, but it could be any of the music in Africa in when I'm walking through Harambe, because I don't understand because it's in a different language. So I just make sounds like that too. So it could be, I mean, that could be a real legit language, and I don't know.
Probably.
Anyway, it's a great scene. It's an amazing animatronic. I love it, and that's why I knew you wouldn't have it. So I wanted to start off my
right. No, I'm glad that you did it. Right, because I couldn't do it. I've never been to Avatar at all.
I know. I'm really
so
disappointed.
I can't. I'm sorry. I can't wait to experience
28 days until we are in Walt Disney World.
This is really soon.
So, yeah, I'm excited. All right, your next one.
Okay. So let's see. I'm trying to think of what the second one will be. Okay. So I'm going to do one that's very similar to yours. And I don't think it's, it's similar to the one that you didn't do.
Today, Junior.
Templates of Passage, because you said, you've compared it to Soarin'.
Oh, yeah.
But I think Soarin' does have totally different scenes.
Yeah, no, I totally agree.
I feel like that, that counts on here.
Flight of Passage is it's a very, I'm dead air here. I can't remember the word. Continuous experience? Like,
yes.
You're on the back of a Banshee and you fly through one big scene.
Absolutely.
Soarin' has the flashes that.
Well, and that's what I was just about to. I definitely was picking Soarin' for this list because I was like, oh my goodness, every scene in Soarin' is so cool. I really wanted to go, on this podcast. The problem is that what I really wanted to pick was what you just said, was the effect of the, in between the scenes, which I call them in between scene poofs.
Okay, poof.
I really wanted to pick that.
That's what the Imagineers actually had written down when they were designing the attraction, yeah.
But I feel like that's...
Like Joe Rohde's like, oh, what was your poof for this one? You have a good poof?
We're going to get a better poof. But,
Plus the poof. Anyway, sorry.
So I feel like what I really wanted to do was just focus on those poofs in between the scenes because that is incredible.
Yeah, there's some really cool transitions.
How the transition, I don't know how they do that. And I don't truly know what the effect is called, but it's amazing. You're like in a certain country, and then it's like poof, or whatever you would call it, and you're just in a totally different country. But it's like a seamless transition. But anyway, that is not. I didn't feel like you would count that because I know that you're kind of a stickler.
That's not your pick? We just
So-
talked about that for like 5 minutes.
I'm going to actually pick the specific scene, and you're going to say it's totally cheesy, and I totally don't care that you think it's cheesy, which is when Tinkerbell comes on.
Yeah, I think it's cheesy.
I know, I knew you would, but I don't care. She like comes on, she taps her wand, and like the fireworks come on, and the little
I don't
Mickey
think
head
that still
formation.
does it still happen?
Yeah,
It
just
does?
watch it to make sure. that it
Okay,
still
yeah, I
does.
didn't remember. I haven't been on it in a while.
I actually just watched it on YouTube because I was like, he's going to call me out on this.
No. I just wanted to make sure that we're giving accurate information. That's all.
And I don't know, it really does feel like I'm at Wishes or I'm at Illuminations. And I'm really at a fireworks show as opposed to in the attraction. But I'm
All right,
also
I can
at the
get
same
behind that.
time flying like Tinkerbell does because
You're
you really
seeing
do.
it from her perspective.
Yes, you
Yeah,
feel like a flying fairy
yeah.
setting off fireworks.
I can
Where
get
else
behind
in the world can you go and do that? That's what I ask you.
that. I don't know.
Listener.
Dollywood, maybe? I don't know.
We've never been there.
I haven't been to Dollywood.
So that's my
No,
pick.
actually, yeah, it's a little cheesy,
Well, that's fine with me.
but I can't say, listen, I can't really argue with it because it is a really neat feeling.
I mean,
to
I
be
love
above the
everything in
park.
Soarin'. Just that moment, I think you never expect her to be there because it focuses so much on
You're
different
right.
things.
No, you're
That's why
absolutely right.
I'm always like surprised. I'm like, oh, hi, Tink. But it is cool because she's flying and you're flying.
I like it.
Thank you.
I'm going to allow it
I'm so appreciative.
for this episode of the show. It's allowed.
Thank you.
Okay. So, all right, my next one. I'm looking at my list, shaking my head, trying to figure it out. All
He's
right.
dancing.
So I do a little dance, make a little love. Pretty much get down tonight. Okay. So here's one that is in Disney's Animal Kingdom, just like my last pick,
Okay.
and Kilimanjaro Safari.
I was thinking about this. I'm
And
glad
it's
you
hard
did
to
it.
it's hard to call something a scene
Right.
on Kilimanjaro Safaris because you're outside
Right.
and it's a huge area. I mean, I think Safari is bigger than Magic Kingdom.
Is it really?
But I think that's right. I'll have to double check my.
Wait, what do you mean?
Like the Safari attraction,
It is?
the land is bigger than the Magic Kingdom park. I'm pretty sure that's true.
Oh my gosh,
It's
that's
enormous.
crazy.
Like Disney's Animal Kingdom is the biggest park by a long shot, and that attraction is like a third of. It's huge.
I'm sorry, you guys. I'm blown away by this. I never would have thought
That might be wrong. I'll have to double check on that. But
If it's right, it's crazy.
yeah, I think that's right. You know what? I'm going to pause it. I'm going to pause the episode. We're going to look it up, and I'm going to come right back. So, as the listener, you didn't even know that I went off and we took a look, and I was right. The entire Magic Kingdom park, which is 107 acres, could comfortably fit inside of Kilimanjaro Safaris.
You guys,
which is
is this
110
crazy?
acres.
I mean, that's really
Yeah,
surprising.
that's crazy.
110 acres. That's humongous.
And you think about how big Magic Kingdom is. I mean, we were walking from end to end.
Exactly.
It's nuts. So, yeah. So, it's a huge attraction. So, that's why I thought it was difficult to kind of get a scene. But I have my
You worked it out. Well, it's your podcast, so you're really allowed to be as creative as you want.
That's a good point.
Right?
Yeah. I mean, listen,
No one's going to yell at you.
Who's going to argue with me and tell me I'm wrong? Well, maybe you,
I
but
was just going to say.
you and Chuck. Thank you for getting your voicemail through. You and Chuck.
Sorry, guys.
It's not that hard to put the phone on silent, is it? Jeez. Talk about being professional. Show up to work in your pajamas.
I asked you if I had to change. You said it was fine.
My wife is in her pajamas while
I'm
we record.
so comfortable. They're matching.
Yeah, that's the thing about doing a podcast from home. You don't have to get dressed up.
No.
Anyway, so Kilimanjaro
clean.
Safaris, the scene I was talking about is the elephant reveal, the elephant scene.
Oh, yes.
At one point, you
That's a good
turn
one.
the
Good
corner,
pick.
you come through the clay, it used to be where Big Red would like rubber tusks or whatever. They don't
Right.
do that storyline anymore. But you kind of go through like this, the Big Red clay pit, and you come out on the other side, and you have this awesome view of the elephants. Now, I will admit, one time we rode, do you remember this time?
Yes.
And the handlers were out in their trucks, like cleaning up the area. So it kind of ruined
It did a little bit.
effect. Like you turn the corner and you're expecting these grand, huge
Yes.
African elephants walking around. And there's like 4 trucks with handlers with name tags,
Yes.
like cleaning up elephant number 2. And you're like, well, that didn't work for me.
Right.
That
I
took me
remember
out of the
that.
story for a minute. But normally, when you come into that turn, you see this huge open area with the big baobab trees and the water, and there are elephants, huge elephants. And baby, the baby elephant, baby Stella.
Right. Oh, yeah,
who
baby
was adorable,
Stella.
who's running around.
So adorable.
Running around and, playing. And it's just such a neat thing because you really feel like they can walk right up to your vehicle.
You really do. It's true.
And they can. I mean, they're separated. A lot of the animals can on that attraction. Like, you can have, the giraffes or the antelope or the crocodiles. Or, no, I'm kidding. Not the crocodiles.
I was like, wait a minute.
You can have several of the animals come right up to your vehicle. I think even the rhinos have access to walk right up to the vehicle. Yeah. But the zebras do, of course. But the elephants, the lions,
right,
the
they have
warthogs,
to keep them a
the
little
cheetahs,
separate.
Yeah, they have to kind of. But there's invisible barriers that you can't see.
So cool.
That prevent them from being able to come close to the vehicle. But I just love that elephant scene. And there was this one time, and I'm going to be super nerdy here. Like, I don't.
Big surprise.
Like, I'm not super nerdy anyway.
Right. How are they going to tell the difference?
Oh, my God. Why did I ask you to come back on? God, people who keep telling me they like Amy on the show.
Must not.
Makes me believe that I need her on the show. Yes. But every time I have her on, I feel less than a man.
Oh, my goodness.
So anyway, the one time I was on this attraction, I think it was college program. I was on, and right when we made that turn into that scene, the skies just opened up, and it was
awesome.
pouring rain.
I mean, not awesome per se, but
no, it was amazing.
It was like the perfect moment.
Like just thunder and lightning, and it just poured. And there were so many elephants out, and they weren't bothered by it.
No, right.
They just kind of hung out, and they were just kind of walking slowly around with the music playing, because that's the part with the African Dawn song. What's it? Now I got to remember how that song goes. A woo woo woo.
Oh yeah.
A woo woo woo.
Yeah, that part's great.
It's like hey hey. See, that's my African. I don't know any of the words, so I just make them up. I sounded like
the woo woos were good.
The woo 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 part was good, but the other part I sounded like some horribly stereotypical, like the Indians from the Bugs Bunny cartoons from like the 40s. It was terrible. That's what I sounded like. Jeez, that was offensive. Anyway, so that's what I think of. I think of that one time.
Yes.
On that attraction when it was pouring and the elephants, and it's just, I don't know. I felt like I was in Africa. Like I was like, I'm in Africa.
No, that's
don't
so
tell
amazing.
me I'm not. I mean,
it does really feel like you are there at that moment.
It really does.
And I was going to say too, I think that what you just said is the perfect description for this podcast, right? Because, and that's what my next one is actually about. Is actually my next two. Any of these scenes on any of these attractions are incredible, right? And of course some are more mind-blowing than others, but I think for a scene to be your favorite on a Disney attraction is usually because you have amazing memories of it.
No,
and
you're
specific
exactly right.
things that happen in the moment. And so this is a really cool podcast. Everyone is going to have a different take on this because there's so many different reasons for a scene to become your favorite.
I agree. That's a great point. Like,
I know, it is a good point. But I just had a soda before I came. So
I'm a little jazzed up with caffeine. It's getting the brain working a little bit.
Yes.
I had a cup of coffee too, so I'm ready to go. All right, thank you. Yeah, I think that's a really good point.
But that's so fun to hear your story.
Well, thank you.
You're welcome.
Yeah, that's what we do. We're storytellers.
Yes, we are.
All right, your turn.
So actually, yes, this is the perfect example. So I'm going to pick, I know you didn't pick this. I don't even know if you count this as, but I guess everything's an attraction, right?
Sure.
Because it's a show.
Shows.
Okay, cool.
Attractions, yeah.
So it's Country Bear Jamboree.
Love Country Bear Jamboree.
Who doesn't?
Not on my list, obviously. But
I know, but who doesn't love Country Bear Jamboree?
I wonder if I know where you're going, but go ahead.
I can't imagine that you don't at this point.
Okay, go.
You know?
I think so.
So okay. So basically, this pick of mine, you guys, is this is my cheeseburger flatbread of this podcast.
Nice.
So if you guys, I wouldn't blame you if you hadn't listened to. Just kidding. But so this one podcast, it was the Snack Day podcast. But before that, every time he ever asks me to be on a podcast, I say, Phil, could I possibly somehow fit in the cheeseburger flatbread? Because I love it so much and I want everyone to know about it. So this scene.
Yeah, but the shows are like.
And then we figured it out.
The shows are like my favorite fast attraction. And you're like cheeseburger flatbread? No, that doesn't fit.
Anyone try it? So this is like that where I've never ever gotten to talk about this scene because it's very specific and we don't do you and I haven't done a whole lot of actual show podcasts. So
right.
I'm so excited to be able to fit it in. So the specific scene I'm referencing is when the big bear comes and he says, There was
Big Al.
blood on the saddle and blood on the ground.
You got to keep singing.
I know I'm done. Sorry, guys. I was like singing out of the side of my mouth. But
You were. Why was that about?
I don't know. I think it makes it sound more authentic.
Like the side of the mouth thing? It was weird. You were
That's
like,
how it sings
you
here.
were only opening half of your mouth.
That's
I've never
actually
seen you do that
true.
before.
I,
I wish I had video of that, but you're in
It's not a good
pajamas.
one.
I can't take a video.
I'll change later. So listen, it is, first of all, that's hilarious. And it's another one that I remember from when I was a kid. But specifically, the reason I wanted to tell you guys about it is because it was just so cool. It's that show I feel like is still so underrated because it's been there so long. People think it's lame now, even though it's not. And they're just newer things. So don't skip that one, you guys. It's such a great show. And so we just went, the last time we went with my dad, we brought him to that show and he probably hadn't seen it in, 20 years.
Yeah,
And
at least probably, right?
maybe longer. And that Big Al came out and started singing. And you guys,
Yeah,
I think he
laughed out
fell
loud,
off the bench.
Yeah, like
He laughed so hard. He had tears streaming down his face. And our kids love that part. But when they saw him do it, my dad's 80. So for them to be able to share that moment with him, I mean, they still talk about it. They're like, Mom, remember when your dad was falling off the bench because he would laugh so hard? And it was
I
so
actually
cool.
remember
And he talked about it the rest
his,
of the
like,
day.
yelp of laughter.
He was so taken aback.
Because I think you don't
expect it at
that
all.
song and a couple of the other songs, all the guys who turn me on, turn
Yes.
me down, that part,
Yes.
you don't expect those. In
No,
Disney
you
these
don't.
days.
You're right.
It's a really cool, almost untouched attraction.
It really is. Yeah,
that,
it's barely
you know,
touched.
Did you say barely?
Nice. I didn't. I meant to do that. I did it on purpose.
Full of puns here, people. So no, it is barely untouched. It was. I mean, they took some songs out. They made it a little shorter
Right.
than it was in the 70s when it first came out. But yeah, I think it's one that. And again, I said I've railed against people saying this on the podcast, and against people saying it's something that Walt Disney would like. But I feel safe saying it because Mark Davis was creating this attraction
When Walt was still there.
literally when the last time he saw Walt Disney.
Oh, so yeah, you can feel safe.
So Walt came into Mark Davis's office, the Disney Imagineer legend Mark Davis, and saw his sketches for these bears, and he saw and he knew what the songs were, and
Right. Did he know Blood on the Saddle?
Probably.
Yes.
And he cracked up laughing, and he told Mark Davis how much he loved
Oh, that's
the Country Bears.
great.
That was the last time Mark Davis ever saw Walt Disney, and he said, Mark Davis in interviews later said it stood out to him because Walt never said goodbye. He always said so long, or see you, Mark, or see you later, Mark, something like that. And as he was walking out the door, he turned to Mark Davis and he said, goodbye, Mark.
Because he
And
knew.
he was in the hospital and died a few days later.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah, crazy story. But I don't mean to bring it down.
No, it's fine. My
mean-
eyes are getting filled up.
It was 50 years ago. But
No, that's true.
it's just a neat thing to think about. And it's really cool that that attraction has a pretty strong tie to Walt Disney,
It does.
even though he never got to see it completed. It's pretty cool.
Yeah, that's awesome. Yeah, I know, a lot of people have done it. But as I said, if you haven't done it in a while or you have new people who haven't done it, just definitely go check it out, you guys. It's still incredible. And yeah, that particular scene. And of course, the one at the end when they're all singing against each other. So every bear is
That
singing
was
at the
great.
same
Yeah,
time.
they all-
That was the first one I was going to pick. But
Yeah, that's a good scene,
I
too.
focused on
Really
my favorite
good.
song so I could sing it. There was
Yeah, do it again.
blood on the saddle. So it's my mouth again.
Yeah, you do it again.
It did the side.
Yeah, you did. I don't know, but you kind of look like a cowboy.
What do I look like, Phil?
A cowboy.
Don't forget I live
tobacco.
here.
That's what you look like.
That's all right then.
We should have a spittoon in the studio that you can spit in when you're not
You
doing
never
that part.
thought that you were going to say that sentence, did you?
Well, I had my spittoon, for all those years. And, anyway, I don't know. Do people still use spittoons?
I don't even know. I mean,
What do you use it for? It's chewing tobacco, right?
I think
I only
how
know
much
it
we
from,
know.
cowboy
I think
movies.
so.
Anyway, all right. So, and baseball guys used to chew tobacco all
That's
the time,
true.
but they would spit it on the ground.
They don't do that anymore?
No, I think the baseball players now are such finely tuned athletes. They don't do that kind of
Yeah, I
stuff.
guess that's true.
It's a rare few that do. Anyway, all right. So going off into a weird baseball.
Really weird tangent.
All right. My next one is, all right, this is where I'm going. Going to Epcot, going to what formerly was known as the Maelstrom,
Oh, I'm so happy you picked this.
which is now known as Frozen Ever After, of course. By the way, I'm not going to get on my soapbox again
Oh, no.
about Maelstrom versus
So that means
Frozen.
he is getting
No, I'm not. But Maelstrom fans, give it a shot. I really think that you have to give it a shot.
I do
know
too.
there are folks out there who are still totally anti-Frozen, totally anti that attraction. Just give it one try. It's worth it. I know the animatronics break down a bit. I know it's not a perfect attraction. It is a very, very good attraction. And the queue is so much fun to watch. Like,
Oh, the
I have
queue
no
is so
problem
much
waiting
fun.
in that queue.
Me neither.
Unless, it was a couple years ago when it was 6 hours long.
Well,
Then I wasn't waiting. Anyway, so the scene I'm talking about is, you may remember from the Maelstrom, the scene when you go backwards
of course.
down the hill.
I think that's the
But
most memorable part.
Right, and before it looked like you were going to go backwards right outside the building.
Yes.
Right out of the building.
Of course.
The show building there, because it had the...
That was my favorite part of Maelstrom. And
Yeah.
I did love Maelstrom.
Yeah, and it
I had
had-
no problem. I love Frozen too, though. So I had no problem with the transition. But I know a lot of people do. So I
Yeah.
get it.
And it was... So when it was the Maelstrom, it looked like you were going to go down a hill right outside the building, and there was the waterfall that came out. Well, Frozen Ever After, they sealed that room, but that also became the best scene of the attraction.
Yes, I
Because
agree.
in that scene now, you go forward into the scene, and there's Elsa up on the ice castle in front of you, singing Let It Go. And she's doing the whole, it's time to see what I can do. All that stuff, right?
This is a really singing podcast.
You know what we do? We do.
This is what we do.
You know how we do.
This is what we do, like, anyway in the morning when we're getting the kids ready
It's
for
true. We do a
school.
lot of singing and dancing. Kids love it, or they don't. They hate it. I don't care, man. We have fun.
It's one or
So-
the other. I can't figure out which.
Yeah, whatever. I guess we'll find out in therapy bills when they're older. So, and then Elsa comes towards you and she's singing the song. And right when she does the whole big Let It Go part, your boat goes down the hill
Yes.
backwards.
That's so well done.
And it has the smoke and like the steam and snow effects. And it's just a great scene. And again, when it's working properly, when the Elsa animatronic is properly working, it blows me away how cool that scene is. And it also blows me away that it used to be something else. Like,
Yeah, you're right.
The track and the boats are still the same, but the attraction is so different.
Yeah, you really can't tell that it's the same track,
No,
same boats.
it
You
feels
really,
completely
They
different.
did such a good job with that.
And there's great animatronics with the Olaf ice skating kind of one.
Yeah, that one's
The
awesome.
Sven, like with his tongue stuck to the icicle. And
Oh yeah,
some really cool
I
stuff.
forgot
But
about
that scene, when you go backwards down the hill to the Let It Go soundtrack,
that's the
I
best
love
part.
It.
That's
It's
a
so
great
well
pick.
done. And if you're a Maelstrom person, you're holding on. You're not going to go do it. Take your kids on Frozen Ever After. They're going to love it. They don't know that, they don't care about Maelstrom.
That's a
being
good point.
before.
But even if you don't have kids, this is one that I really see a lot of just adults doing. It's really doable. With
They did a
the
good job. They
kids.
did a good job with it. It's fun.
They did a great job.
The music of Frozen is still awesome.
It is.
So, yeah, listen, I know there are people who are tired of that song,
No, of course.
but listen, it's not going anywhere, man.
Yeah, better get used to it.
Like
They're
people
making Frozen 2, right?
yeah, and there's the Frozen's on Broadway now, and there's
Right. Oh,
the
it's
Frozen
everywhere.
show in California Adventure in Disneyland, and
Right.
there's the Frozen musical on the Disney Wonder.
Yes, that
Listen,
one's so good, by the way.
It is great. Frozen's not going anywhere, so it's just gonna when Frozen 2 comes out, it's gonna be Frozen Fever all over again. So just don't
Frozen Fever.
Yes,
That was
the
a
other
little
one,
clip.
a little clip. See, man, look at that.
Good job.
Connecting the dots for
We're
listeners
doing
all over the
doing
place.
such a good job.
Anyway,
today.
you're up. Let's go.
All right, so this one, you're not going to like this one that much. I think
It's
you're
not.
gonna.
It's not.
It's not Toy Story Mania.
Is it Aladdin? The
No,
flying
it's not.
carpets?
No, you like this attraction.
Okay, then I'm good.
I think you'll just
All
think
right,
this
cool.
is maybe a lame part of it to pick, but there's a specific reason.
I don't think. I don't.
I
think
will
your
tell
picks
you
are-
guys, I'm going to just tell you right now that when I was going to make my picks, he said, I love you. Everyone loves that you do this. Try to avoid Toy Story Mania because every single podcast I've had you on, you do Toy Story Mania. So I did avoid it.
I may
so
have
I'm
said something
sorry.
to that effect.
I'm sorry for everyone who's let down. And if you guys really want to hear a pick of mine on a different podcast that includes Toy Story Mania,
Just listen to any other show she's been on.
I was going to say, write to Phil, let him know I'll come on another podcast. We could do a just Toy Story Mania podcast.
Oh man, I love that attraction, but I'm starting to like it less and less.
No, but so
I'm
this
kidding,
is not Toy
obviously.
Story Mania. So this is Small World.
Okay.
So you're happy with that. But so I'm going to pick the weirdest. I don't even know if you can call it a scene, but I know originally we had said room.
Yes.
We are going to say like scene or room.
I think it still stands, whatever you want.
Yes,
however
so
you want to
I'm
interpret it.
picking like at the very end, you guys, like, you know, it's a small world, everyone's singing, all the animatronics, everything.
Wait, that song is on the
Only for
attraction?
1 second. Only for a second. So at the very end, though, when you're coming out, but you're of course still in the boat, and it's the room with all the signs.
Oh yeah, the goodbye signs.
The goodbye
Yeah,
sign.
yeah.
That's exactly what I call it. The goodbye sign scene is what I put in. And I'll tell you what, you guys, I know that's such a small, minor part of it, but for me, that's what we look forward to, like me and my kids. So unfortunately for them, since they were 2, I've been reading the signs to them and I just butcher the words.
Oh, yeah.
But I do the best I can with, saying it correctly. So I still, even though they can obviously read most of them now, I read them to them. But what's really cool is every time we're in that room and I read them the signs, they say, now what country is that from? And it spurs like this great talk about different cultures and different countries. And as much as I think the whole attraction is trying to do that, for some reason for us, that goodbye scene, the signs, that's what really makes us start thinking about the cultures and talking about them and being interested in them. And I think that's really a great way to do it. And that's a fairly new thing, right? Or has that always been there?
That's always been there, but but the fairly new part of it is when you get a fast pass.
And they say,
They
yes,
have a
that's the
screen,
best.
and the screen, says goodbye to you. It'll say, goodbye, Amy, goodbye, Phil.
Yes,
on the
isn't
screen.
that cool? Oh, I love that.
That's really cool. If you use your fast pass, your magic band for your fast pass on that one, sometimes it
says
doesn't
your name.
work.
Right, but sometimes it does.
What's funny is those monitors have been in there for years, like
And they never
I think
use
they've-
them.
since Fast Pass Plus and Magic Bands have been a thing. They installed those screens, and they work sometimes. They don't work all the time. So sometimes they just literally it'll just say like
I've seen that.
adios on the screen. It won't change. But other times it'll just keep switching.
That's pretty
to People
cool.
who were in the boats, and I think
I remember seeing our names and the kids felt like they were movie stars.
yeah, and it's a cool thing. It's one of those other things that
And by the kids, I mean you.
yeah, it was definitely me. I was like, let me get a picture of that. Wait, I don't have my camera ready. Come on, my name was on It's a Small World. That's cool.
It is pretty cool.
But I was thinking, it's just another thing. Like Disney's going more and more into the interactive elements of attractions. They're not just things that you sit back and watch anymore.
No, you're absolutely right.
things
They
that you're
put
involved
you
in.
specifically
Yeah,
in it.
you're in it.
Absolutely.
So it's a neat little thing and a neat little technology they put in there.
Good.
But yeah, I
agree,
like that
I mean.
pick. I like it out in Disneyland. I know this is a show about
I
Walt Disney World,
know.
but
That's the best.
it says like greetings from. There's like the postcards.
Yeah,
and
I
it
love
says,
the postcards.
Greetings from Disneyland USA.
Yes.
Like the weather is fine and all that stuff. It's
That's
really
the
cool.
best. I love that.
So that's after the goodbyes. They have the postcards and stuff.
Right.
It's cool. So I don't want to say It's a Small World is better in Disneyland, but It's a Small World is better in Disneyland.
I agree, actually.
It's just because it has its
Okay. I
own.
think it's okay to say that.
Yeah, it has an amazing show building from
It's just
outside and inside.
totally, yes, it does.
I love the addition of the characters in Disneyland.
That's
the
my
Disney
favorite part,
characters.
I think.
It's fun to kind of look out for them.
Right.
And what I really, really loved was the Christmas overlay of It's a Small World.
That was amazing.
It's so well done. And all the white lights outside in the building are changed to colorful, like Christmas lights. And the music inside it's a small world, but it's Christmas
But it's
songs
Christmassy.
as well.
Yes, I know.
So well done.
It's really great.
Yeah, if you haven't done, it's a Small World holiday
Yes, that's what it
in
is.
Disneyland. If you haven't done that, that's it. Try to plan if you're planning a trip to Disneyland, of course, first of all, contact me. Second of all, think about going around Christmas.
Absolutely.
Or somewhere from November to January. It's a really cool kind of experience. All right. Next up, I think, how many did we do? Did we,
So I
that was
only
your
have
fifth-
one
that
left.
was your- so that was your
That's my
fourth.
fourth, yeah. See, I delete them as I go so I don't lose track of it.
Look at you. You got to go.
Meanwhile, the professional over here is scrolling through his list still. I'm just saying.
I don't know how I should take that. Was that like you were like mocking me, I think.
I believe that I was.
Yeah. Do you remember?
Yeah, like a mock.
It just reminded me of Tommy Boy when David Spade is trying to get a flight somewhere else, and she and the and she did the or no, it's when they were in the gas station, and the guy goes, I think I detected some sarcasm there. And David Spade goes, well, I would hope so because I was laying it on pretty thick.
I remember that.
I love that scene. And there was the other scene, and by the way, in Tommy Boy, that's the one I was thinking of originally when he's trying to get the flight out, and he says to the flight attendant who's like clueless, he goes, hi, I'm Earth. Have we met? And she goes, I don't think so.
Oh, yes.
I love that part.
That's a good movie.
All right, so making fun of me or not making fun of me with my list. My next one is, all right, Splash Mountain.
Oh,
and there's a lot of great scenes in Splash Mountain, right?
There are.
It's one of those ones that it's just chock full of like awesome moments and rooms and scenes, and it's just a great, great, great attraction. I think I've called it like the quintessential Disney attraction. It really is. It's just an amazing attraction.
No, it really is. That's a perfect way to describe it.
But it's after the final drop down Chickapin Hill.
Right. Yeah, that's
into
the best part.
Big,
yes.
And it takes you, that's why after the drop, you kind of go around that turn there.
Yeah, they just want to give you a minute.
It gives you a minute to compose yourself and dry off. I love standing there at the bottom of that with my camera.
Oh, it's the best.
And filming people or watching people's reactions. Because they have no idea you're there.
Right.
Like, they don't know you're looking at them.
No one can tell that you're
just
right.
soaked and you're like looking and you're
Oh,
laughing.
you can't see anyone else, right?
No, you're talking to the people in your boat and your
right.
log.
Screaming.
But there's 100 people watching you and you have no idea.
Right.
They're watching how you reacted to getting soaked in the attraction. So you make that right kind of U-turn into the final show scene. And there's the riverboat in front of you with all the birds and the geese and the ducks, and they're all singing Zippity Doo Dah.
Yes.
And I think it's the Zippity Lady or Zippity Doo Dah Lady is the name of the ship. And it's kind of rocking back and forth.
Yeah.
And all around you are the other animals. And everyone's singing Zippity Doo Dah. I love that scene.
Yeah, that's
there
awesome.
There used to be a really kind of clear hidden Mickey in the clouds there.
Oh, yeah.
Remember that? It's kind of gone away a little bit. It's not... You can kind of see the feet still, but they've distorted it a bit. So it's not this... I don't wonder if they did it because people were taking pictures of it or trying to like get weird angles of it. I don't know what they were doing.
Yeah, I don't know.
But it's not there as clear as it used to be. But it's a great scene. Like, it's this huge, huge show scene. It's a big room. You feel like you're in a warehouse, and there's Brer Rabbit on your left. And then when you come... I don't know if it's still a part of the same scene, but you make that left past the riverboat, and there's Brer Fox and Brer Bear, and he's like kicking Brer Bear, trying to get him out from like the briar patch. And then there's Brer Rabbit on your left, and he's telling you how he's going to stay home now, and he's, staying,
yes.
I don't know how he sings it. I can't sing.
I'm gonna be totally honest. This is a bit fuzzy, this scene, because I'm still so freaked out.
Yeah, you're still trying to recover from your heart attack.
I don't pay as much attention to it.
Yeah, like.
But I always feel such relief at this scene.
That you're like laughing.
I'm done, and I'm just cracking up through the whole time.
Yeah, it's like your brain doesn't allow you to see that stuff.
It's kind of true.
There's so many chemicals pumping through your bloodstream
it's right.
that your brain created for you that you have no idea. Like, you're like, you don't remember. It's like the people who like survive near-death experiences.
Yeah.
And they're like, what was it like? And they're like, I don't know. There was a light, and that's all I remember.
The problem is, this is a very accurate way to describe it for me.
You're like, we went down the hill. I was going towards the light. I came back, and they told me to get out of the log. I don't know what happened.
That's exactly right.
But it's a great scene, and yeah, I know. Poor Amy, she sometimes has to ride, even though she doesn't like that attraction. And I think you like it.
No, I love the attraction. That's the weird part. I actually love every single part of it.
Except the hill.
I don't like any of the drops, to be totally
The drops
clear.
are pretty fairly tame.
They're okay.
The last one.
I can do it. But yeah, the last one is kind of what does me in. But I love the rest of it.
Yeah, just because it's such a well done,
it's amazing. You can't not appreciate it.
You really can't. And you know what's funny is, like, I hate getting wet on attractions.
I know, that's what's weird for you.
But I don't even worry about it.
He's a weird thing in general about getting wet.
I have a weird thing about wet, period. Like, I just don't like wet things.
Have you ever talked about soap?
No, I've never talked about soap.
We won't talk about
Go
it.
ahead.
But no, it's just
you want to talk about weird things.
Bubbles.
You want to put it out here on the podcast? Go ahead.
No, he just has a weird thing about bubbles.
I don't like bubbles.
When he was little,
not like blowing bubbles with the kids and catching them. I'll do that.
No, soap bubbles.
Yeah, soap bubbles. I'm
specifically soap bubbles.
Not into that.
No,
like,
when he was little, his mom put like soap in his bathtub.
I used to gag.
And he threw up.
I did not throw up.
The one time
she exaggerates that story. I did not.
I believe her. Either way.
It's a weird thing with with smelly bubbles.
So, no, it's
Like
true.
bubbles. It's
Like, I'm always like,
I could never
"Ooh."
do a bubble bath ever.
No, but
That's
I'm
my
always
nightmare.
like, ooh, we got to go to Bath and Body Works to pick out soaps. He's like, you take the kids, I'll see you. Like, even going into the store is not
I like the
good.
candles there. I just
Yeah,
don't
he'll
do
just go to the candle
foaming
section.
soaps. Once in a while, you brought
I'm
those
not allowed
foaming,
to get the foaming.
you brought those foaming soaps home, and I didn't know it was a foaming soap. And I used it, and as soon as I sprayed it on my hand, I was like, and she's right now, Amy's laughing hysterically, but it's true.
The reason is
I have
that
a
that's
phobia with
exactly
foam.
what happened. I forgot. I did. I got like an apple soap, and I didn't realize it was foaming. I couldn't see. I think I didn't have my contacts in, and I couldn't see. And he came home, and I was like, "Oh, I got that apple soap you love." And he was like, "Great!" And he started washing his hands.
Because I'm a big
in
fan of the
bathroom.
regular Bath and Body, like the antibacterial stuff.
Right? Yeah. Me
and the
too.
ones that smell like the seasons.
Right.
Like in
That's
the
why
fall,
you like the
it
apple,
smells
the
like
fall one.
apple.
Yes.
In a fall, or the fall, it smells like pumpkin. Or the spring, it smells like, I don't know.
Oh no, that's what it was, you guys. It was foaming pumpkin
Ocean?
because
I don't know.
pumpkin is his favorite scent. It was a foaming pumpkin,
My
and I heard
favorite
him.
scent. I like it in a candle.
One of your favorites.
It's not like I had this weird thing about pumpkins. Like I have to walk around
He does.
pumpkin patches all the time.
So I heard him in the bathroom, and he was washing his hands, and I heard him going, "Oh."
This is an exaggeration.
Oh
too.
no, it must have been a foaming.
This didn't happen.
Either way.
You know what
so
really
it's
freaks me out
surprising-
is when
Oh,
I see
no.
on like the Travel Channel, those like nightclubs in Europe that do the foam like parties, and they're all on the foam and they're all like soaked in foam. Like, oh,
You could never go.
oh my god, I couldn't even be on the same street as that thing.
That's so-
People will be coming outside with foam. I'd be like, get out of here. I just can't deal with it, man. All right, we got to move on.
Moving on
Enough
to
of my weird
So
phobias.
the reason you were saying it was because you were talking about Splash Mountain, and how it's surprising that you're okay with getting wet on the
Yeah,
ride.
we're bringing it back. Yeah,
I'm trying to bring it back for you.
Like when I ride, say, the ride that the attraction that has dinosaurs on it in the other park, you get like I get,
Oh yes, I've never
I
done
buy
one.
I buy a poncho before I ride that, or if I'm riding Kali River Rapids, I buy a poncho. I just don't. Actually, Amy gave me a look because I've been on Kali River Rapids one time in my entire life and I've never ridden back. But I do, and I'll buy. You know,
That
and-
you do get really wet on Kelly
Yeah.
River Rapids.
so I don't like.
Which I love that.
I don't
That's
like
a
the
great
wet
one.
shoes and the wet shirt walking around the park.
Oh
I
yeah,
just
he
don't-
doesn't.
But for some reason, Splash Mountain, I just deal with it. Like you don't get as soaked as the other ones.
You don't.
And I usually like duck behind one of the kids so I don't get as
That's
wet.
actually true. He uses Zoe as a shield.
Anyway, all right, we got to move on. 'Cause we're talking about my weird phobias, and now everyone's going to be thinking well, they already thought I was weird. It doesn't
Yeah, they're
matter.
just gonna make like foam with an X around it shirts for you. So you
I'm
can
going to
wear
start
them.
getting like things in the mail. All right. So you have one
So
left?
this is my last one.
Okay.
It's a really fun pick. You're gonna like it. So it's Buzz Lightyear's Space Ranger Spin. Is
Wow.
that what it's called?
That's it.
Okay. I always just call it the Buzz Ride. So I'm referring to I call it the room with the stars. So it's like,
Oh,
when
that's
you're-
fun. Yeah,
Yes.
that's a cool one. Yeah.
So, because you don't know, because we're
The
always
Star
in different.
Tunnel, I think.
The Star Tunnel. You guys know what I'm talking about, right? So you're going through, and then you're just in a room, and it literally just has like stars, and it does have some like characters come up on the screen, but for the most part, it's a lot. It's just the galaxy, right? So, you don't know because you never go in my car with me because I always have some of the kids, and you're the rest of the kids. But in my car,
Like we have 8 kids.
yeah, that's really true. It sounded like we have so many more.
Like for the
But-
Pitt Jolie family.
yeah. But so in my car during that star scene, there's no shooting. I don't let anyone shoot. So what I do is I'm like, guys, it's a star
Tyrant.
room. So no, they love it. So we just sit back and relax and we spin the whole time and we don't shoot. And you just look up, you guys, if you go in there.
See, that's why I don't do
make
it. 'Cause
sure-
that's just too dizzying for me.
I know it doesn't make me dizzy, but if it will make you dizzy, don't do it.
I'm on blood pressure medicine. I can't spin around
No,
like that.
but if you can handle like the teacups and all, do this. So look up and spin. And I'm telling you guys, it really does feel like you're in outer space. It's incredible. The stars are like flying around you and it's so cool. And there's the music and you hear like the shooting sounds, which actually kind of sound like outer space sounds anyway, around you. And then you see like the laser lights from other people shooting. It's amazing. I'm telling you guys, try doing this. Your kids will think this is so fun.
And then they will all get sick.
And then they'll
after
throw up.
But I'm all for trying
It's not
that.
for the faint of heart.
Okay, I'm all for the listener trying that the next time they're on the attraction. But I also want them to hold down the trigger because you get points.
See, I don't care about the points.
So you want to win. You want to beat the person.
All right, well, hold the trigger while
Let
you're
them
spinning
spin it.
then.
Just hold the trigger down because just hold it down. Like you still get every time you shoot, you get a couple points. Just because I want them to win. I'm in it.
But I do think that that's so cool. I mean, that whole attraction really has fun scenes, but I think that particular one is a little more unique because it really does make you feel like you're in the middle of outer space.
I agree. But I don't like the spinning. So I'll do it, but I'll hold the trigger down and then we won't spin as much. We'll just spin like half the time.
That's fine.
So, all right. So I had two more and I was trying to think if I wanted to just go with the last one, but I want to go with both of them. Is that okay?
Of course.
You kind of chime in on it?
Yes, I'm in.
You did 5, I'll do 6. All right. So my next to last one is one that I really, really love, and it's on a newer attraction, and it's on Seven Dwarfs Mine Train.
My daughter was telling me to pick this.
And it's when you're in the indoor portion of the attraction, and it's the dwarfs in the mine part of the attraction.
Right.
Because have you done this?
I did do it.
You have done it, but
Yes.
your eyes were closed. You probably don't even remember the scene.
I
So,
don't. My daughter was describing, or our daughter, I guess.
Do you have a daughter that I don't know about that you're talking
I
about?
was trying not to say her name. Our daughter.
You can say your name as long as I always say their names.
All right. Well, Alexa was describing this to me because she wanted me to pick this, but I don't remember it. I only did it once, and I did somewhat close my eyes.
So it's an amazing scene. Like it's a lift hill that doesn't feel like a lift hill because it's a huge show scene, and you go in, and there's you see Dopey with the jewels around his eyes, and it's all the Seven Dwarfs mining, and they sing this song. I don't know the song, so I can't even try to sing it. It's something like work, 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 work. I don't know, all day long, something like that. And the audio animatronics are amazing. Like they're the same.
They are incredible.
They're the same kind of technology as the ones on Frozen Ever After, where their movements are super lifelike. But I don't know how they do the faces. They're like projections onto. I don't know how they do the faces, but they look like they're audio animatronic faces, but it's like animated. It's amazing.
That's incredible.
So it's just
yeah.
a really cool thing.
No, you're right.
So in that scene,
That attraction is unbelievable.
it's great. And then
And I feel like it gets a bad rep.
because it's short, I think
It is short.
when Imagineers built it, they had a very small footprint to kind of design an attraction in,
Yeah, people say it's way
especially
too
for a
short.
roller coaster.
And people say it's too slow,
Oh, I don't find it slow.
which I think is so fast.
I
Or
find
maybe
it-
they say it's too fast.
No, I don't know. I mean, I think it's on the same lines. It's somewhere between Barnstormer and Big Thunder Mountain.
I was
right?
just going to use those. Yes,
It's more
I agree.
thrilling than Barnstormer, but not as intense as Thunder Mountain. Is what
I disagree, actually. I think it's more intense.
I think it's smoother than Big Thunder Mountain. I think it sways side to side.
Yeah,
That
you're right. No,
makes
it's
it a little
definitely smoother, for sure.
Anyway, so the scene, back to the scene, when you're going up the hill and you see all the Seven Dwarfs, and then there's Doc, and he does the hi ho, and then it goes into the hi ho song.
Yes.
And as you go up,
Oh, yeah, that's
you
the
see
whole
the
thing.
shadows of the Seven Dwarfs, like from the movie.
I do remember that part.
Walking up the hill to the top of the lift hill.
Yes.
It's such a cool scene. They did,
It's an
they did
amazing
an
thing.
amazing job with it.
It is.
Like, again, Imagineers had this little kind of piece of land to build this thing where 20,000 Leagues Under the Sea used to be. And it did an amazing job. It's a great attraction. Yes, it is short, but it's worth it. Is it worth the 3-hour wait that it gets? I'd fast pass it. I mean, seriously.
Yeah, I do too.
I would. I think it's a very, very top choice to get a fast pass for in Magic Kingdom.
I agree with you completely. That having been said, I will say that really is the only, right now, the only Snow White attraction in Disney World, right?
Yeah, right. I'm trying to.
Yeah,
think
I know. I
Yeah,
just
yeah.
was going through it in
I mean,
my
you can
mind.
meet Snow White,
You can meet her.
and you could also.
But there are kids that are totally obsessed
Yeah.
with Snow White.
Yeah, that's
So,
it.
guys, it might be worth it. Because I will say, some of the rides, some of the roller coasters, I should say, I think are a little bit scary for kids. That one, I don't think is. I think most kids can, if you're the right height, your
You can
kid can
handle
handle it.
Yeah, excuse me.
And I'll tell you what, it will blow your kid away. It really will.
It is. It's
So,
a lot of fun.
That's
and,
a long wait, but if you really try to get a fast pass and you can't,
and there's an interactive queue.
it is an interactive
Yeah.
queue. If you think your kid can handle the wait, do it because your kid will love it.
And if you didn't have a fast pass for it, either go right when the park opens.
Yes.
You still might wait 45 minutes to an hour,
Right.
which is doable.
Right.
Or go when everyone's eating lunch, eating dinner, or go during a parade.
Yeah, we always say that.
Or the
But
fire- or the
ride,
fireworks,
ride
if
while
it's open.
everyone eats and eat while everyone rides.
Yes, it's a perfect tip. Okay. Oh, and in that building, in that show scene that I'm talking about, there is a hidden Oswald the Lucky Rabbit.
Oh,
In that
right.
scene. There's 2 hidden Oswalds in Magic Kingdom. One is in the ground outside of Be Our Guest restaurant,
Oh, yes.
in the stones, and the second one is on the attraction. Is on in that scene in Seven Dwarfs Mine Train. So, all right. So moving on to my last one that I wanted to mention. This is my number 1, and I
Oh, that's fun that you left it to the end.
did because I kept waiting for you to say it, and I thought we would collaborate, and you didn't say it, and I've said this scene probably 100 times.
Okay,
on the
that's why
podcast
I didn't
before.
pick it, because I knew you would pick it. I
Yeah,
know what you mean.
It's obviously Peter Pan's
I know.
flight. Obviously, flying over London is the best to me. Still, almost 50 years after that attraction opened in Magic Kingdom, is the top scene, the top room, whatever you want to say, anywhere in Walt Disney.
No, it's a perfect pick, but I just knew you were going to take it.
Yeah,
When we decided on this topic, you said, "Oh, I know exactly my first pick," and I knew that that's what popped into your head.
Yeah, it did, and
So I wanted to give it to you.
I'm not, and I don't love Peter Pan, the movie. I don't love
No,
Peter Pan. the
that's
character.
true.
I don't love anything about that.
It's
I
just
love
that
the
particular
attraction.
moment and the whole attraction.
Yeah, I love
But
the
that
attraction.
moment for you.
But that moment to me, exactly right. And it's just, I've said it before. I leaving the Darling family nursery, flying over Nana the dog who's outside because she was misbehaving a minute later and she was put outside. Flying over the Darling's car, and then Peter Pan saying, "Here we go," and off to Neverland, and you're over London. Like, you're over London.
No, you
Don't
really
tell
are.
me you're not over London, man, because you're over London.
Listen, you are over London. And guess what, you guys? There's a reason that this attraction, I've never seen it. Well, maybe you've seen a 60-minute wait.
Yeah, but it's usually
That is
90.
the least amount I've
Yeah.
ever seen. It's almost always 90. There's a reason that it's still a 90-minute wait.
There is.
Everyone
and
else
it's,
must
and
definitely
the Fast Pass
feel
line
something.
is halfway out of
It's true.
Fantasyland because it's just an amazing attraction.
It
is.
puts you right in.
Again, it's super
London,
short. We
puts you in the
mentioned
movie. Mm-hmm.
it does. It puts you right there. It puts you over London. I know you're laughing because we talked about Zoe, our daughter, saying she was so mad because it was so short. It is. It's a. I don't even know. It can't be a minute.
No,
I don't
it's
think.
so short.
Like maybe maybe I'm just completely underselling it. Maybe it's over a minute. Maybe it's a minute and a half. I don't know.
It's
super
definitely
short.
not 2 minutes.
It's super short,
Yes.
but it's just such a great attraction with the blacklight effects and just that scene when you're over London and the cars are going below you, and again, the simplest effect. That's a 1955
Right.
special effect of bicycle chains with blacklight paint on them.
Right. It works
That's what it
perfectly,
is.
though.
It's a bicycle chain
Right.
that's kind of rotating, and it looks like cars driving on the streets of London.
Right. It's another attraction that's very, barely has been touched, right?
Yeah. No, I don't it's been touched at all. I mean,
Right. It doesn't have
just
to be.
except for the queue, nothing's really been added or taken away. I just love it. Like, I love that scene. I love seeing Big Ben and Tower Bridge, and it's just Big Ben Parliament.
I was going to say
Big
that.
Ben Parliament. But yeah, it's just something about flying over London, man, and it's been my favorite, I think, since I first rode that attraction as a kid, and I was just like, how did they do that? Like, how did somebody come up with that idea?
Right. It's a really good point.
Like, it's an amazingly cool concept, and it gives you the other part, and I want to kind of throw this in. I know I've said a lot, but I want to throw this in as an honorable mention for Peter Pan. And the Peter Pan scene in Mickey's Philhar Magic, I feel
I
like you feel
love
like
that.
you're flying over London just as much.
Yeah, you do.
When Peter Pan goes up the Big Ben and he
Yes.
steps on the arm of the clock, he stands on the arm
That's
of the
the
clock.
best. It really
and the
takes you
music,
into
it
it.
plays the music and you fly over London.
Yes.
It's another one where it's very similar to the scene in Peter Pan's flight where you feel like you're there.
You really do.
Like, you're in that moment. You're with Peter Pan. You're flying over London.
Absolutely.
It's awesome.
And I will say,
I love it. I love it. I love it.
I will say, I know you are the fast pass getter in our family, but for our family trips, I do the fast passes because I love doing it, and it's kind of more fun for you, I think, because then you're a little bit more surprised.
And I don't have to work for it. Like it's my job.
Yeah.
I'm doing fast passes like every other day for clients, which I really enjoy, and it's a lot of fun. I love getting them.
Oh, you love that part.
I love getting them the ones they want.
Oh, it's so exciting.
You know
That's how I feel when I do it.
No, I love when people doubt. They're like, you will probably want people to get these.
Oh, yeah.
And I get them all, and I'm like, yes.
That's so his
and
personality.
I can shoot the email off to them and be like, I did get what you wanted. But no, I know it's a fun thing to get those fast passes.
It's really fun. So what I was going to say was, I will say, if you are really persistent, I've never done a trip that I've done the fast passes for where I haven't been able to get a fast pass for Peter Pan. It might be at a weird time.
Yeah.
It might be a different day than you intended. But if it's really important to you, which is always important to us, I will look every day of our trip. I will actually plan it a whole Magic Kingdom day around that day that I get the fast pass for Peter Pan. That's how worth it is.
It is. It really is. So yeah, I know we talk it up a lot on the podcast.
It's great though.
Especially you and I, we talk it up. But I don't know, maybe it's the memories we have with our kids. Maybe it's the memories we have from when we were kids.
I think it's everything, yeah.
It's just, like you said in the beginning of the show today, there's something about why these scenes are our favorites is the memories that we've made on them.
Absolutely.
And I think I just have these memories of this attraction. The first time I was on it in Magic Kingdom, the first time I rode with you in Disneyland,
right.
I have those memories and they're etched in my brain. And it's like that, it's like this, for lack of a better word, it's like a drug. Like you get on it and the chemicals are released, the serotonin is released in your brain.
It's true.
And you're just like, it's
you
just
feel
awesome.
better.
You just feel, yeah.
It relaxes you.
Like I say about the beginning of the show, all the stress, all the anxiety, all that melts away.
It does.
And you're just there and you're enjoying it and you love it. And you're with your kids or your family or your friends. And it's not just this, it's everything we mentioned on this episode, I think gives you that kind of feeling.
And that's something I want to say. I know especially you and I, we do a lot of tips, a lot of make sure you do this, make sure you do that. I will do one overall tip, if that's okay with you at the end right here, which is...
we're up against it. No, I'm kidding. You hear them talk about that on radio shows. Like, we're up against it. We got to go. No, of course.
No, but my one overall tip, and this is something that I need to remind myself of very often, when you're in Disney, there are going to be a lot of times when, let's say you get overwhelmed, you get stressed out, stuff that's happening at home gets to you, and there's no way to avoid it all the time. But my biggest tip is just do your best, particularly when you're on an attraction. Just keep your phone away, watch your kids, or if you're not with your kids, watch each other, just hang out with yourself, and just get into the moment.
Live that moment.
That
Absolutely.
attraction will put you in the moment, but you're not going to get into the moment unless you let yourself.
And especially, you're not going to get into it if you're watching it through your phone.
Yes.
Through a screen.
Absolutely. Listen, everyone.
I said that to you, which is funny, is that you brought that up, because I said that to you yesterday. We were out.
Oh, you did?
At a fun place with the kids. And you said, shouldn't I be getting videos when they're doing this? And I said, don't look at it through your screen. Just enjoy it.
It's true.
Be in the moment. We don't have to record and document everything in our lives.
It's true.
Guess what? There are 1,000 videos
That's what I was going
of
to
those
say.
attractions on YouTube. If you want to...
Someone's already gotten the video for you.
Yeah, if you want to relive Peter Pan's flight, if you want to relive,
I just looked up Soarin'.
Yeah, you want to relive Soarin' when you get home? Watch it. It's there on YouTube in 4K HD.
Yes.
You don't have to record it.
Put your phone away.
Your own eyes.
Right.
Enjoy it through the eyes. Look at your kids. Look at their faces, because they don't have cell phones.
No.
Look at their faces. If you want to look at something and it's not the scenery and the attraction, look at them.
Right.
Because they are blown away.
Absolutely.
And their jaws are on their chests.
It's incredible.
Because they're just in awe.
And it doesn't matter how many times they or you have done the attraction. No. It doesn't matter. It's always amazing. So that's my biggest tip is, in order to create your favorite scenes, make sure you put yourself in them.
Wow, that's very profound.
I told you I had a soda before we came.
We high-fived that one out. High-five it out.
Sorry, guys.
That was good. No, I completely agree. I couldn't agree with more. I kind of want to end it there with that but I'm not going to. No, I'm going to.
Well done.
I have 5 other things to talk about. No, okay. Ames, just an awesome. This was an awesome show.
Good.
I'm excited for people to hear it. I
Good.
really am.
He is excited, you guys. I can tell.
So, to the listener right now, I'm actually blown away by how good of a podcaster Amy's become. I'm worrying about it a bit.
You. Oh, you
because
are?
I'm starting to think she's better than me.
No, I'm
problem.
not better than you.
No, you're not. You're right.
Although we asked the kids yesterday, they listened to one of our podcasts, and we said, who's better? And one of them did say it was me. 2 said you.
Was it Jack?
No, it was Zoe.
Oh, no. She's dead. She and I are going to have a talk.
No, actually, Zoe said me, Alexa said you, and then Jack said you're both great.
Of
He
course.
couldn't decide,
Which
means you.
Jack toes the company line. That kid. Anyways, thanks again. You were awesome. This was
You're
so much
welcome.
fun.
Thank you so much for having me.
Okay. Good night, everybody. And that is going to do it for this week's episode of the Ear to There Disney podcast. Thank you so much again to my co-host, my guest, my wife, the one, the only. It's a long introduction. Amy Gramlich. Ames, thank you so much for coming back on. She's the best. The shows are awesome to do with her, so I'm glad she's taking an interest in my hobby here. So thanks, Ames. And thank you again to Bob Gurr for coming on and answering yet another question. And thank you. Thank you so much for listening. I mean, as always, it's greatly appreciated. Whether this is the first one you listen to or the 200th episode you listen to, thank you so much. And I want to hear from you. Like I said at the beginning of the show, I want to know what you think about the show. So please send me a message. Just head over to eartotheretravel.com/message and let me know what you thought about this show. Everyone who sends me a message in the month of June will qualify to win a prize, which is that magic candle from the Magic Candle Company. All right, just remember there will be a new episode of the Ear to There Disney podcast on each and every Monday, as well as a new episode of either It's a Food World or the Word of the Week each and every Wednesday. So until next time, you are awesome, and I really appreciate you, and thank you so much for listening. Have a great week. Bye-bye.